Hey everybody, and welcome to the Pedal Zone and another episode of Tonal Teamwork where we're going to be building a pedal board. But not just any pedal board, it's going to be my pedal board. Let's go. So the reason why I want to make a pedal board together with you all is because I actually haven't had a working pedal board for a long time, because I haven't been playing with other people for a very long time. I've just been noodling here in my pedal cave and I'm slowly going insane. I need to meet other people and jam. And luck would have it that some old friends reached out to me a couple of days ago and said, hey, you want to hang out again and make some noise? And I said, heck yeah, let's do it. And this made the perfect excuse to get another pedal board up and running. I don't want the board to be too complicated. I want it to be quick and easy to dial in, since I don't really know where we're going, like sound-wise. But I also want something that's fairly versatile and lets me produce a lot of sound on my own, because I'm going to be the only guitarist in the band. It's going to be me playing guitar, a bass player and a drummer. So I need to be able to do some sort of looping and some sort of textural stuff alongside playing riffs and melodies. So we're going to need some dirt, we're going to need some modulation, and we're going to need some ambience, and probably also some sort of crazy wildcard pedal. So let's go find them. I know what the first pedal is going to be, so let's find some dirt pedals. And I'm very sure about what the first pedal is going to be. It's over here. And that's the Keeley octa-psi. Because you're always going to need a good fuzz pedal. And this one delivers. Like it's a big muff. But the kicker is, it also has a built-in pitch shifter. And I love pitch shifting. And this allows me to, fill out more space, since I can add harmonies and octaves. Plus, it also acts as a nice chorus, and you can never have enough modulation. So this is definitely the first pick, the Keeley octa-psi. Besides fuzz, I'm definitely also going to need some sort of low gain drive, so it's not all going to be blown out heavy stuff. I think I'm going to go for the Intensive Care Audio life support. I made a demo of this one a while ago, and it completely blew me away. It was the drive tone of my dreams. It's sort of like an overdrive for fuzz addicts. It has that amazing harmonic content. Plus it just has a really beautiful wide gain range, so you can use it for clean boost and all the way up to medium saturation stuff. And it also has an onboard boost, so you can get even more gain for leads. So definitely gonna go for that one. I think that's good on the dirt side. We're gonna need some sort of modulation. I'm gonna go for a weird one to begin with, and it's the Death by Audio Space Bender. And I'm probably not gonna be using this one as much for modulation, even though it does flanging chorus stuff. But it also does this cascading ambient delay sort of thing. It's just like, it's instant shoegaze dream pop territory. And I think that's what I'm going to be using it for. So I can use that in between the octa-psi and the live support for shoegazy leads. Gonna go for that one. But I'm also gonna need a more normal modulation pedal, I think. And since I'm not fully set on what I'm gonna need, I just know I'm gonna need something. I'm gonna need something that can produce different types of modulation. I'm gonna go for the Source Audio Artifact. It's labeled as a lo-fi pedal, but it actually does way more than that. It just does a lot of cool modulation effects. There's chorus, vibrato, flanging, filter effects. There's even bit crushing in here. So this is just gonna give me a wide palette to play with. Are we gonna be choosing delay already? That's always the big one. It's so difficult. There's a couple of good ones over here. Like I love the Old Blood Noise Black Fountain. It's just so simple and it sounds amazing. There's the Keeley Echoes, which also has a looper. Nemesis delay, ton of cool delay types in one pedal. But I'm gonna go for that one. I said I wanted to keep things as simple as possible, and this is definitely not the most simple delay pedal on the market, but it just does everything I could possibly need and more. I know it by heart since I've been using it for so long, so even though it is a complicated pedal, it's not crazy complicated to me anymore. And it has a looper, which allows me to do pads and drones and fill out space in the band. And it has an inbuilt tuner as well, so I don't need to, spend precious pedalboard space on that. So, gonna go for the LVX. We're gonna need some sort of chaos, something unpredictable. I think we need to go over here. All right. There's a lot of good stuff here. Like, how much chaos and unpredictability do I want? Like, I love this thing, but it's just gonna be me sitting the entire jam, dialing in sounds. So I think I'm gonna need something that's a bit more hands-on and more compact. Trusty old Tensor. And Particle. I love both of these pedals so much. This would allow me to do more loopy, drony stuff, stuttery stuff. This is more in the vein of delay, but it does just weird granular delay stuff. This is simpler. This is a bit more complex. Why does life need to be so hard? I'm gonna go Particle. I might regret this and might swap it out for Tensor when I build the board, who knows. I'm gonna go Particle for now, and let's see where it takes me. And then I'm gonna need some Ambience. Ventris from Source Audio. Ton of amazing reverbs. The Collider from Source Audio, reverbs and delay in one. The Mercury X. Me and Mary's reverbs were just like, we're like this. Like the Mercury 7 has been my go-to reverb sound for so many years. This thing is also just sounds so good. It's just really easy to use also, which might be better in this situation. I also need to think about board space. I'm gonna go for the Collider because it just needs to be simple, set and forget stuff. Plus it gives me the option of having more delay as well that I can mess around with. So yeah, this is it. I think we're golden. I'm gonna try and set this stuff up and then we'll see if something happens. I might change my mind on this, but yeah. Let's set up the board and see if there's space for more. All right, gang, let's get this board set up. I don't have the order fully fleshed out in my head yet, but I'm sure we'll get there along the way. But I do have the beginning and the end figured out, and then we'll fill in the gaps as we go. I'm sure you're all curious to know what I'm powering my pedal board with. It's the hidden X Factor, and it's the Chox DC7 that's under the board. It's gonna be powering it all. For the very first thing in the chain, I'm gonna go for the Keeley octa-psi. Mainly because I personally prefer pitch shifters early in the chain, so that sort of dictates it for me. And then the end of the chain, I'm sure is gonna be the Collider, because I'm just gonna use that as more like a set and forget, bread and butter, delay and reverb sort of thing. I'm gonna take the Death by Audio Space Bender and put it after the octa-psi. Like I said, it's probably gonna be my shoegazy wild card of sorts, so I wanna be able to send some fuzz into it, but then distort the trails with the life support if needed. So I'm going to be placing the intensive care life support after the space bender. Now it gets tricky. I think I'm going to go for the particle. Particle next. I don't know. I wish I had a reason for it, but there's no real reason. My mind is telling me it needs to be here. And then if that shows itself to not be the truth, then I'll move it around later. But I think this is going to be fun. And I think what dictates it is because the modulation in the artifact is also really awesome after delay and reverb. So I'm going to have it after the particle so I can sort of send some sort of delay trails into this thing and affect them. So I'm going to have the artifact up here. And then that leaves all the space in the world for the LVX. Now my mind is telling me, boy, there's a lot of gaps in this pedal board and I really want to put another pedal on there. And the other half of my brain is telling me, this is good, this is practical. Like, you're not gonna be fumbling around when you're doing your step dance because space is good, so you're not hitting all sorts of different pedals. But I really want to put one more pedal on there. The first thing that went through my mind when I had all of these pedals picked out is like, I don't have any old blood noise on there, and that's practically one of my all-time favorite brands. And they make amazing pedals, especially their new line of stereo devices. I'm gonna put the Dark Style on there, just also so that I have some, you know, I can sort of bookend the LVX with reverb, running reverb both before and after it. Yeah, that's gonna be good. It's gonna be like this. Yeah, baby. I am loving this. There's a lot of space down here, but I think that's good. All right, this is gonna be it. I'm happy. Let's get it hooked up. Ladies and gentlemen, it's alive. It's alive! And I had no problems with cables or anything. Everything just worked at the first go. I think that's a first for me. That's amazing. All the lights are on. Everything's ready to go. It's in full stereo. Let's hear some examples. Alright gang, that's all of the sounds that I have for you today from my amazing pedal board. I'm really pleased with this thing, and I'm sure it's gonna create a ton of cool sounds and a ton of confusion at the jam. But that's the way things are supposed to be, I guess. If you enjoyed the sounds, then please consider leaving a like, subscribe, comment. It always helps the channel a lot. And if you find some of these pedals interesting, then remember you can get them all over at thepedalzone.com. And if you have any ideas for future pedalboard videos, then please let me know in the comments. I've been Stefan, you've been amazing, and I'm signing out. Bye!